Good evening, everybody. Let's see here. Drop. 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 And go. I've got that 8-foot stretch on this tractor, so when I pull forward, I have to have the front of my truck 8 feet past the line that is no longer visible because they haven't repainted it in long enough for the trailer to be far enough forward for the guy behind me to be able to get fuel. So, because of how tight this place is, I have no choice but to park it somewhere else. Because if I left it sitting exactly where it was, somebody would drive around that corner one way or the other and rip the hood off the front of my truck with their trailer. So I'll park it in the fire lane after I forget to put this thing in neutral. Okay, I'll park it in the fire lane because I'm only going to be a minute and then I'll be out of here. Besides, there's no reason this should be a fire lane anyway. I got a huge parking lot driveway here between me and that building. The building side should be the fire lane. I'll be back. Here we go. Got my receipt. Let's see. Oh. Half a tank of fuel just cost me $1,010.47. Half a tank of fuel, $1,010.47. 165 gallons, so half a tank of fuel for me is 150 gallons, so yeah. There goes my car payment and my house payment all in one, right? lights on because it's starting to get to that time of day. That way I don't forget them later, right? Come on, slowpoke. 3 miles an hour isn't cutting it, bro. Mom of one. Unless I work for a very big company that runs their own freight anyway, like, oh, I don't know, Landstar. They own most of the freight that their brokers are giving out to their drivers. Same thing with Swift Transportation or any of the big companies. So their owner operators get a fuel surcharge, which is required by law. But us small companies, especially those of us running independent, we do not. The broker does not, unless we demand that they put it on there. And even at that, that's not going to raise the price that we're getting paid for the load. What they do, if they actually will agree to do it on the rate confirmation, if you have a load, if they have a load on the board for $2,000, they'll still end up paying only $2,000. What they'll do is they'll chop $400 out of that $2,000, and then they'll say on the rate con that they're paying you $1,600, and then also paying you $400 for a fuel surcharge. There is no gain. Most of them won't even do that. Most of them won't even do anything with a fuel surcharge at all. Unless you just outright demand it. And a lot of them will turn around and book the load on somebody else that didn't ask for it instead of you. See, the brokerages are actually getting paid fuel surcharge from the government for the load. But they're refusing to give it down to the trucks, for the most part. Just like, they've dropped all the freight rates on everything across the country. As soon as the fuel prices started going up, the freight rates started going down. Which means the load I was hauling for $5 a mile last year is now hauling for $1.80 a mile this year. Here's the problem with that. All those brokers, they have those loads on contract, which means it doesn't matter if the trucker gets paid $5,000 today for it and the same load gets put on another truck for $1,200 tomorrow. That broker is still being paid $9,000 to get the load out there. So, the brokers are the ones that have dropped the rates. They're under contract, making the same amount of money on the load and paying the driver a lot less, so they're pocketing even more of that money. They can try to put it on the back. They can try to paint it on the backs of the truckers. Well, because of the rising fuel costs, the truckers are charging more. No, we're not. We're not charging more. We're being paid less. And this has been going on since 1992. When they changed all the regulations around on how everything works, and every time it gets brought up and supposedly investigated, it comes back, well, the brokers aren't doing anything wrong, the brokers aren't pocketing all this money. Well, then where the hell is it going? firelaying is actually a federal crime. But guess what? You can go on any load board right now and take a look. And you can see a load going from this town to this town for this price. And then you see 10 more loads going from that same town to that same other town for a little less and a little less and a little less, or a little more even, right? You can call each one of them up. Each one of them, when you're in the middle of negotiations, will say, you need to hang on a minute, I'll need to call you back, I need to make sure we still have this load. Well, while they're making sure that they still have that load, what they're doing is they're calling the original broker that actually has the load. And if that original broker still has the load, then they'll book it for the price that they listed it for. That broker, and then they'll on the other hand, that's where a broker exact load on 3, 4, 5 trucks at one time. Whoever's the cheapest is the one that ends up getting it. I can't begin to tell you how many times I have showed up to a place to pick up only to find out that I have the wrong number, the wrong pickup number for that load. And then when they finally give me the about an hour of trying to get the broker to give me the right one. Oh, well that's already on another truck and it's already gone. Sorry about your day. That's double booking, or triple booking, or quadruple booking, however they want to do it. picked up Comdata, and recently I just picked up EFS. That way I can benefit either one way or the other on whichever cheapest fuel price in the area I can find. That, and I can benefit from the discounts from either one, because Comdata only has discounts at certain stations and not others, and the same thing goes with EFS, and neither one of them are actually discounting from the same places, or they discount differently at the same places, you know. So it's all about figuring out where your best advantage is going to be. This is an 06 Volvo. This is an 06 Volvo 780 with the picnic bench in the back. Drivers all over the country, and every company that's ever done that has stranded drivers all over the country. And I've been one of those guys that will literally go and pick up those drivers if they're close by to where I happen to be at the time, and I will get them home. haven't been dispatched yet, and they just shut their doors, and they didn't even bother to call their drivers. Oh yeah, Tri-State, I remember them. I remember them. But what was the name of that company? Last year Obama was in office. That company went belly up. They shut their doors. They did not even notify their drivers. They had like 7,000 trucks scattered nationwide that were stranded. Got them to a bus station and got them on a bus headed home. MTI did it, yeah. MTI had been one of them, but they weren't really a big company. They were small. The company I'm talking about had like 7,000 plus trucks all over the country. They literally shut down, and they had already shut down. They were going to close everything out. Their drivers were stranded all over the place, and then some other company came in and bailed them out of their bankruptcy, and they reopened up for business immediately. It's just like right now, you take a look at Swift Transportation. Swift Transportation was in the middle of bankruptcy. They were in the middle of filing bankruptcy when Knight Transportation came in and bought them out. Knight Transportation is literally the owner of Swift Transportation right now. There you go. That's who it was. That's who it was. Thank you. to be something that started with a C. Well, Celadon closed in 2019, yes, but they stranded their drivers. Like, what was it? When they stranded their drivers, when they started their, when they decided they were going to file bankruptcy, they literally shut their business down 100% that day and didn't say anything to their drivers at all. They stranded them all across the country. 2019 is after all of the court proceedings and everything else for the bankruptcy was finally finalized. So they stranded their drivers before that. And I remember it was right near the end of Obama's last year in office when they stranded their drivers. looks like I'm on flat road, but I'm not. I'm actually going downhill.
state and you vote that same stuff right now.
time a plane takes off and lands. Or buying a house, or even for that matter buying land up against an interstate or a major highway, and then, you know, building up a house right there, and then complaining about all the truck traffic and all the noise from the trucks. Give this guy some props and some catch back up. Because right now, he's 6 miles an hour above his posted speed limit, and I'm 16 miles an hour above mine. truck, including the driver. So if they see you're smoking, a lot of people don't want to be around anybody that smokes. They 9 times out of 10 won't even call that truck in because they don't want to deal with the cigarette. They don't want to deal with the smell of it or anything. That's a little trucker trick for you. Oh, good. talk about gardening. Oh boy. All right, Rosie, teach me something.
In one of
that speckling, those are pits in the windshield. All that speckling you're seeing, those are all individual little pits in the windshield. And that came from a sandstorm.
continue on I-84.
Right? You're right there, Max Payne. Or, I don't know why I keep calling you Max Payne. It's Max Private. Still has not gone live. Although I did have a phone conversation with him earlier today. He went and called me back after I texted him here yesterday. He's doing good. His pickup, on the other hand, it's leaking coolant and oil all over the place. a certain set of skills. He learned how to do all this survival stuff and medical stuff while he was a Marine. Maybe some other stuff too. The thing is, now that he's not a Marine, go and pick up those skills, all the other skills that he didn't ever learn. He hasn't been out of the Marines very long, so he is still used to the fact that he does his one job and everybody else does theirs and everything falls in line. So, you know, it's not necessarily a skill that he ever thought he'd need. Fresh enough out of the military that he is still used to the entire unit doing all the jobs. So he does one job, the next guy does the next job, and so on and so on and so on, so that everything gets done all the time. He's not used to being out there being the only one by himself. He's not used to being in a situation where everything that could possibly go wrong, he needs to be the one to fix it. So he never learned the skills to do those things yet. A lot of guys that come out of the military, they only know the one thing, their one job that they did in the military. And that's why it's kind of hard for them to readjust into regular civilian society, because they're not used. raised up that front wheel and put all kinds of stuff underneath it. He wasn't really stuck. At least in my book, that's not stuck. But, you know, some people cannot, I guess some people can't. I guess logic would be at play a little bit. I don't know. But all around, X-Ray's still a really good guy. I mean, he knows a lot of good information, and he's good at what he does. The things that he does know, he's really good at. And he's a great person, especially if you've ever met him in person. So, your dad called it the cat litter box too, huh? That's ever been over there. We all refer to it as the litter box. Conversation in any direction, no matter whether you're 10 minutes behind in the video or not. I'm good. Right? I get that, Max Payne, and like I said, he hasn't been out of the Marines that long. So he is still so used to having to rely on everybody else around him to take care of those things that he does not quite fully readjusted back into society from being military. Realize, and hasn't come to that, you know, basically that come to Jesus moment where he's got to take care of it himself no matter what. You know? Yeah, what date was that? Was that the 18th? Yeah. So next Saturday, on the 18th, the 1776 Restoration Movement is having a rally. Rosie Rowe is intending on going. She's going to be taking a lot of pictures and everything, so anybody that wants to go or hadn't heard about it before, go ahead. Get there and meet up with Rosie Rowe. Meet up with Santa, meet up with Big D, you know, meet up with all of them. Have fun at that rally. Maybe you learned something. Yeah, 4 to 8 p.m. Bunker Hill, West Virginia. That is actually heading there, and we'll be there slightly before. One of the guys that's heading that convoy up is Bryant Bostrom. He's currently on his way there right now in a convoy from Oklahoma. So he's going to be there. He's going to be one of their guest speakers up there on the on the 18th in Bunker Hill, West Virginia. It's a convoy. Legal terms, by federal terms, anything that is 5 vehicles or more is a convoy. And that is because they technically have made a convoy illegal for semi-trucks in the first place. If an officer were to take a look at a group of trucks going down the highway that is 5 trucks or more, they could legally pull them all over and put them in jail for being a convoy. They outlawed convoys after that big one that we had in back in the 70s when the gas prices got real high and they shut down gas stations all over the country. Convoying for semi-trucks illegal back then. Which is kind of amazing that we were able to do what we did with the People's Convoy and be escorted by the police officers in every state from start to finish. Live streaming the whole trip. And by the way, Bryant is not completely by himself. It is my understanding stop last night, it was only Cliff and Bryant, huh? Where'd everybody else go? teaching him how to do it. See, I don't get why they would come out and then turn back. Oh, seriously? Australia's in here, eh? Who's from Australia? Hey, Rosie Rowe. How many more hours can I drive today, Rosie Rowe? Let's check it out. I can legally drive another 8.5 hours. And I'm currently about 11 hours of drive away from where I gotta go. Live streams that I put on yesterday to try to fall asleep to because I hadn't had any sleep in 2 days. It's an Australian news network. It's an Australian live streamer out of Canberra, and they had something going on there. And I swear, I didn't get a look at who it was that was exactly like your brother. Yes, Rosie Rowe, I am going to push it all the way. I have no choice. If I show up late, I don't get paid. Well, I do. Excuse me. If I show up late, I do get paid, but they take X amount of money back out off the rate confirmation. So by the time David or Daniel that's over in Australia? I gotta go look that up now, Rosie. Jeez. You want to know what time I deliver over there in the morning? I gotta go look that up. Hang on. That's right. You never know. That's why, like, if I have to pick up a load in Seattle, Washington, and go to, let's say I got to take a load from Seattle to Bunker Hill, West Virginia, right? And they give me 6 days to do it in, or 7 days to do it in. Well, I can get there in 4.5 legally. So I get there in 4.5 because you never know what's going to happen from point A to point B. Be there by 8:30. Well, it turns out 8:30 is tomorrow night, not 8:30 in the morning. So I do have enough time to get there, so I don't have to push too hard. But I would still rather get there. I would still rather put as much mileage behind me today as I possibly can, and then do just a few miles before delivery. That way I still have plenty of time on my log to be able to get away from that place once I deliver, because there's almost no parking that I am going to find anywhere within 100 to 150 miles of the Seattle area at that time of night. Especially not any parking that I don't have to pay for. be lumpers and there will be a lumper fee, and I'll be sitting in their dock for like 6 or 7 hours, and it's going to be middle of the night. By the time I get out of there, I'm not going to be able to find a place to park anywhere. Not unless I go 150 to 200 miles away. At that point, I might as well see if I can't just go park it out on the old family farm. See if the neighbors of ours that bought the farm from let me park it in the back corner. If I were to stop sometime in the next few hours, then I have to really and still have time left in my 14-hour clock to be able to get away from them afterwards. It's all complicated. I mean, yeah, you're going to learn a lot that you never knew, but once you pick up a load, you want to put the most miles you can down every day until you get it to where it delivers. If you end up a day early or half a day early or 2 days early, so be it. But at least you are there, because like I said, anything can happen between point A and point B. Not to mention, once you're at point B, you still need to have the hours available legally for you to be able to get away from them when they're done. Because they don't care. If you run out of hours while you're sitting in their dock and you cannot legally drive away from that place, they still kick you out. They don't care. Live stream for a little bit right now. I'm going to come back up here in about an hour or two with a Howling at the Moon version. I'm going to let that sun get down, because the sun is now down to a point where I'm having a hard time seeing the road because of where the sun is, and I also can't see what the screen says. I can't really see much of anything except a little bit of the white line and the white dotted line, just a couple of feet in front of my nose. Everything else is just kind of washed out. So at this point, I'm gonna call it for now. So I'm gonna kill that extra little distraction so that I can remain safe. Once the sun is down, I'll probably go live again. So I'll catch y'all later. Y'all keep an eye out for that notification coming when I go live. All right.